Everybody's talking about it. Everybody's talking about it, Your girl said he broke her heart. Your boy said she didn't love him from the start. It was never meant to be. You ask me how I know, cause everybody's talking about it. Everybody's talking about it,
What's up, everybody, and welcome back to another episode of Everybody's Talking About It, the show where we talk about everything that everybody's talking about. I'm your boy, Mark J, back for another episode. It's going down today. This is season 5, episode 4, where we're going to get into addiction. Something crazy. I've been wanting to talk about this shit for a little minute. I think I did like an episode about this a couple seasons ago that didn't get aired because of like technical reasons. It wasn't like nothing personal, just some technical stuff. So we're going to get into it now. But what we're going to do is introduce everybody at the table first. What up, Trent? Hey. You ready to talk about addictions?
Of course.
Because we know you're addicted to some shit. That's why. What up, Rick?
Hey, y'all.
This is some deep shit. Let's get into it.
Hey.
You ready?
I'm ready. I'm a little lit right now, which is like crazy that we're
Ain't
doing
it so
the
crazy
addiction
how we're lit
episode.
on a
But
episode
just
like
so
this?
y'all know out there, just in case, you see some funny shit.
What up, Kalia?
Sorry.
Welcome back.
Hello, cousin.
Hey, cousin. What's going on?
Hey, everyone.
Dwayne,
What up?
you here. Welcome to
I'm here.
season 5, man.
Thank you.
Oh,
I appreciate
man,
it. Thank you for
like,
having me back. I appreciate it.
Core cast now. You done got
Let's
upgraded.
go, man. Let's go, man.
Upgraded,
Got new
man.
outfits now.
Things that
Let's go.
took Charlie 2 seasons took you only a season. Hey, yo, what up? So we're going to talk about addiction. What I really want to gaze into is not even just like the. I do of course want to talk about like the extraneous ones, like the ones that have take over our lives, but it's also some. You ever seen the show My Strange Addictions?
Yeah.
And shit, people be really into like eating deodorant and shit. Like
Couch cushions.
Yeah, couch cushions and actually physical photographs.
Yeah,
People
I've
like
seen
actually
that
will
one.
eat a picture.
No, I seen somebody eat tape.
Yeah, just all kinds of addictions out there. I mean, porn, shit.
She would eat.
Like we're gonna be
Oh
talking
my
about
God,
sex tapes.
What?
Oh my
We're gonna be talking about sex tapes later in the season. So it's like we might as well just talk about the
Let's
porn
start. Let's get it
addictions.
started.
So have you? The first question I guess I'll pose is: have you ever had an addiction? Anybody want to start? Volunteer.
Not clinically diagnosed.
I had a
Jeez.
gambling addiction for a little
Really?
bit. Yeah, I had a gambling addiction. Just trying to chase that high and winning. So like I won a lot, and I gave it all back. Like that same
We
night.
talking sports betting, car betting.
It was casino, sports. It was a bunch of stuff. So I got up, gave it back, and I was trying to chase it back, and I was trying to chase that high. I went down a rabbit hole for
So-
last year was crazy.
But
But
that
I
is
always
the thing
say-
right now. That is the thing.
Yeah,
like,
like-
everybody's sports betting.
'Cause it's
Women, men,
so
everybody.
accessible.
Well,
Like,
because a lot of people, they even tried to get me with that MGM app thing. That's a pretty good app, but shit, your money be going before you know it.
and it don't come out your account right away. Like
So what I would like to ask you too is like, cause I always say it's like a level to addiction too. When you got like, especially when you saying like, particularly with gambling addictions, would you say that you were like spending like money that was like needed? Because let me tell you why I'm asking that question. I went to the casino with my godmom before, and she real friendly with people at the casino, and it was this lady that she was playing with. And she was like, well, I've been here all day. I done spent my rent money, and I'm trying to win it back.
That's
So was it that bad, or was it like
it was that bad.
But
it was getting to the point where it was tight. Like I worked and around and stuff like that. So I was at a point in my life where I wasn't paycheck to paycheck.
Mhm.
So it was like I had a nice little cushion.
Okay.
So I went to the point where I was just like, you gotta stop. Because it ain't.
I know all about
Yeah,
that.
you gotta
Especially
stop.
now. Like I do bet on sports heavily. Fortunately, I've been on the green side of things. But just going to the casino with your friends. Once you know your friend has to go to the ATM,
Yeah.
that's when it's like, all right, nigga, we
we
gotta
gotta
stop.
stop.
We gotta leave in 15 minutes.
And that's how I normally am in person at a casino. Like I'm not tapping back and leaving my card. But when it's on the phone, it's just like all I gotta do is press a button
Easy.
and that joint right back on there. Like so.
Wow.
ladies?
Y'all better than me, because I lose 2 times in a row. I'm going to fuck hard. Period.
Yeah, well, I always
I'm betting
say-
$100. That's it.
Yeah,
That's somebody's
I
money
say,
that they gave me when they brought me to the casino because I'm not going by myself. So I mean,
I say if I haven't
Spending
flipped
your
it,
money.
if
not
I haven't
my
flipped
money.
at least 100 by a certain point, then I'm out. Like I'm gonna just go ahead and I'm not about to give back more than 100.
But that's
Right.
the crazy part is when you go to the casinos, you see grandmas, grandpas,
oh yeah,
and they be
They got
there.
that pension.
They be there all day.
All day.
Like
That's
they'll put 500 in that one machine and they'll be there all day, like win or lose, and it's like
the penny slot.
I-
You can't give up that
I
machine.
know your grandkids are like, grandma, what the fuck?
And
It's
to
the
be
second
honest with you, let me tell you
Christmas.
this, it
I
might
ain't
not
get
even be the
shit.
addiction to the money. I think it's the addiction to the rush of it all.
Oh yeah,
Like
Once-
you not,
once
it's
you
not
win,
knowing. It's
That's
the
all
uncertainty.
addiction though.
I
Not
feel
even
like
just
for me,
the-
I don't want nobody getting over on me. I feel like once I lose my money, it's like you stole my money. Like I want my fucking money back. Like I don't want the feeling of
Yeah.
like I'm giving in. Like I gotta keep going. So I spend my little $100. I might win, like come up like $250, $500,
Mhm.
and then I'll be playing it like, all right, I could probably double this. I could flip this.
Yeah.
That's that hood shit.
The crazy
Then
the
I'll
crazy
lose
thing
it all. And I'm like, all right, I'm going home.
the crazy thing with gambling is though, it's like people will go in there with like $50 trying to turn that into 10 million. And it's like you should have never left the house.
Yeah.
Be-
I would say if
because-
you're going to play with $50, you asking to lose.
Because when you gamble, it's either give or take, you're going to win or lose. But some people, it's like, all right, I got $25.
25.
but
Let's turn this into
I thought-
3,000.
But
And
listen.
it's like that's not how that
It is.
works.
but
Yeah,
sometimes that's the rush. Because sometimes it do happen. Like you hit that
Yeah.
joint one time with that 25, yo, I'm gonna bet 10. All of a sudden, there's $1,000 in your thing.
I ain't
You
gonna
just
lie, I
keep
hit big
playing.
on a $5 bill before. I ain't gonna lie, I was playing the slots, and I had pressed one button, and that 5 went to $150, and I was just like, oh damn, I got $150.
Yeah,
I
so
so
that-
$5 real quick, and it was the little blackjack slot.
Oh, I fuck
Yeah.
with that. I fuck with
And
that.
and when you bet $1, it was like, oh, all right. So it flipped, and I said, oh, damn, $150. I'll go ahead and I'll cash out. And I ain't playing shit else. Like,
But see, some
I'm
people
with
be
you.
like, oh, I'm up.
I'm
So
with
I
you.
came in with
I'm
$5.
with
So
you.
if I leave with you mean that
I'm
same
with you. I'll
$5?
take it.
$5
I'll take it and I'm
and
going
I'm
home.
taking it. I'm good. I'm good on $150.
That's the point of
More than what I
addiction.
came with.
People don't realize that in that moment.
And that's the
It's
thing.
like, oh, I'm up, so I can play with this. This is house money.
But that's
Only came
also
with $5.
that's managing your addiction. Like,
Yeah.
like some people, like they know it's like, all right, I'm up. That's cool. I'm out. But then some people, it's like, oh well, I need to feel that rush again.
Mhm.
You see them lights going off. It's like,
Yeah.
oh well, I want to feel that again.
Yeah.
Or somebody next to you that come up big. You like,
And
oh,
then,
it's my turn.
yeah,
Let's
it's my
go.
turn.
Like,
So like y'all speak about that rush, and I think that translates into any type of
Me too.
like addiction, like
Mhm.
whether it be like, so like I see people a lot say I've seen this come into more conversation about like sex addiction lately, and it's just like what like I always wonder what that really entailed, like the difference between like being a sex addict and then being like
A person who likes that.
yeah.
it's just
You just want it anywhere
It-
with
it-
any person.
You ever seen that
No
movie
pigs.
called Addicted?
Just do
Like,
The
or
sex
do you get the
movie?
rush from like I don't know this person, or we in this random place, or like what I mean,
at
A
the-
sexual
at the-
addiction is when
at-
you really can fuck a stranger.
at the
Like
end-
you really could
Anybody.
At
just
the
fuck.
end
You
of
can
the
fuck
day,
anybody.
it's
Just
just
friends.
about that nut. That's all it is. That's why a lot of people they'll have sex with people who they are really not attracted to, but it's just getting that nut off. Like I've been in a
oh,
place.
form of it.
Shit, if I want to be totally honest
I've
with
been
you, some
in
of
a
the
place
best
like
sex
that.
come from people that you're really not fully attracted to sometimes, though. I ain't gonna lie
I
to you.
mean, I can vouch for that.
Yeah, I was about to say that. I've actually had really good
But
sex.
however-
I can vouch for that.
I can say this one thing which made it seem like it opened my eyes to like addiction, because I used to think that I had a porn addiction, but my other friend he would tell me like how he like loves porn, but then when you see certain patterns like yo this nigga is late to work, and it's
Oh, yeah.
because he has to get that nut off before he
get
goes
to
to
work.
work. Like you're not going to sleep for like you're going to sleep 2 hours before work because you have to get that nut at night. Like I'm like I thought I was addicted, nigga, but god damn, like
Yeah.
you're like it's
So
a
when
problem.
they start
It's
negative,
once it starts
I
affecting
say
your
that
life.
affecting your everyday life.
Yeah.
That's when I
And
start
that's-
thinking
But it's
addiction is
functional
starting to
addicts
say.
too, like when it comes.
But I
to
will say
drugs
that
and
it is
stuff.
functional addicts. You gotta remember, some people will never miss a day of work, even when it comes to drugs. People been on coke for like 17, 18,
Some
19
lady
years
at my
and will never
job-
miss a day of work.
She's a weekend warrior, as they say.
Mhm.
Monday through Friday, she's cool. Miss, I'm gonna say her name. But Sunday night, she's smoking crack.
Wow.
But she just, for some reason, she looks forward to it on the weekends. But that's like most addictions.
Like, I'm going to go to work on Monday, but...
Yeah, but
That's it. I'm going to go to work on Monday, and I'm not going to do it until Friday night. Okay.
No, but that was me with alcohol, though. I think that's probably why I don't drink as much now. Like, it was bad because I was, like, in I ain't gonna say the kind of job I had. But it was to the point where, like, I had a bottle of 1800, like, on my nightstand. So, like, when I woke up in the morning, like, because I was so fucking stressed about any and everything. Like, I didn't have good coping skills at the time. So, I would just drink. Like, I would go to work. I would have that shit in my coffee mug. Like, I would drink at work. Like, I would come home. We would have $2 Tuesdays. It was a bar at the corner of my house. I would be there and not remember how I got home. Like, I got arrested because I was drunk. Like, you know, I was in jail a couple days because I was drunk. Like, it was a lot. Like, it was a lot. But I still went to work every day. Like, I still made sure I handled, like, all of my responsibilities. So when you say, like, a functional, I guess, addict, like, at the time I would be like, oh, I'm a functional alcoholic. No, bitch, you an alcoholic. Like, it is what it is. Like, call it what it is. Like, you gotta acknowledge your shit. Like, for real. Like, it really ain't no thing like a...
No, and I'm not laughing at the situation.
It's nothing wrong with having
I
4
appreciate
drinks a
stuff
night. It's no, like, bitch.
I'm just a big person on anything you do. Like, I'm not a judger. Like, I'm not one of those people like, ew, why you do that? My thing is, like, you know, what floats your boat may not take mine off the dock. I'm cool with that.
I'm a silent judger, though. I won't have to say it out loud, and I don't have to vocalize it because I don't think everything needs to be. Because it's not your place to say sometimes. Yeah. So, but I am a silent judger. I can look on the side and just be like,
couldn't be me.
Yikes.
I'm just not. Like, my thing is, like, when I see it affecting, like, if I see just a drastic change in you, and some people, like, everything. If I see a drastic change in you, even if it's like a coworker that I see that's usually like, hey, how you doing, da, 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 and then, you know, like, over time, they just look disheveled and they just like they late for work. Such and such ain't nothing late for work and just disheveled her stockings and she just look real dark around the edges.
Dark around the edges.
Like, or ashy around the edges even. It's just you start to notice, and I think that's the part that scares me about addiction the most. Is just like I'm gonna always say this. Like I said, I'll never smoke cigarettes because I don't got time for paying nothing. I paying for habits I can't afford. Cigarettes high as hell, but. That's like the thing. Once you get into like a habit or addiction.
Okay. So since we want to get into it, let's get into it. I do have a cigarette problem.
I don't know what he's getting into.
That's just how it works. Like with nicotine and cigarettes, that's just how it works.
She just mentioned addiction. Why are you putting it down to a problem?
It is because I will say that it is a problem.
It's not an addiction?
Yeah, I would say it's a problem. Because here's the addiction. What I'm saying is the addiction is the problem, is what I'm saying. That's the ultimate issue of the day. Like, we know that. I feel like any addiction is a problem. Like, I feel like that's something that we all have to be self-aware of, first of all, which I'm self-aware of every problem that's in my life, because that's just who I am as an individual. So I don't like to have, nobody will have one over a barrel, as they say, as the saying goes, over me. So what I mean by that is that I've always been self-aware that if there's something that I need to change in my life, absolutely I'll know it first. And I'll be the first one to call it out and to be able to work on it. But me justifying myself or explaining myself to anyone about it is never up for discussion. But what I will say about that is that when we deal with those things, those are personal things that we have to go through. We always have to say, all right, this is the trial and error of my life. Like, I know for me, stress and anxiety is relative to why I smoke cigarettes. And why that's the issue. That's why I decided to go into therapy for stress and anxiety. And that's what my ultimate treatment plan is. But when you go to that, it's almost like you use it as a crutch. But it's not needed to be a crutch. But that's what it is. Like, I was talking to my therapist about it. And he'll always say, you'll probably say to yourself things like, oh, wow, I need a cigarette. You know, to go calm down. Let me just go take a break and take a cigarette. And he's right. I do shit like that.
Anytime you face a hardship, like, that's what you go to. Oh, they in here blowing my shit. I need a cigarette. Oh, these niggas stressing me out. I need a cigarette. Oh, I can't wait till I get off. I need a cigarette. Like, that's... I found myself in that spot, too, because everybody talks about weed and whatnot. And I remember I smoked weed every day probably for, like, 14, 15 years straight. So I stopped smoking weed and then I started vaping. But I talked to a therapist, and he was like, "You're just accustomed to like holding something and smoking.
And smoking.
It doesn't
Yeah,
matter
mouth
what it like.
connection.
You're just like that's just what you're used to. So it's not even that you want to smoke weed. That's why I gave it up. It's not that you want to vape. You're just used to holding something in your hand and smoking.
And sometimes it's the process, though, Trent, too. Some people say that it's ultimately the rolling. The licking of the wrapper.
It's
and
it's a routine.
And the
Hell
routine.
yeah.
of it.
Usually with the
Like,
routine,
you
you
can
keep
also
on.
get
Like,
addicted to the routine.
You can't
Where it's
wait.
not, like,
You can't wait
it's
to
not
roll
even
up
like
that
You already envision what I'm gonna do.
That's why some people who are weed heads don't rely on edibles all the time because they like
Right.
to smoke. Like
Right.
it's the whole process of having
Grinding
to
the
roll.
weed.
Same thing with hookah.
I hear a lot of weed people say that they don't feel like they quote unquote feel edibles, and the crazy part is edibles go straight to your
Shit.
bloodstream.
Yep.
Shit.
Baby.
But they don't feel.
Giraffe dick
No, but
high.
here's
They
the problem.
don't feel.
But
They
the
don't
problem
feel.
is they
It's
don't
a
feel it is because you don't get to
motherfucking
travel around. You don't get to travel through the high with the edible.
But
Like you literally are
Like,
high.
you-
Yeah.
You don't just turn around and be like, oh shit,
And
I'm
the-
high.
and the
With
weed-
weed, you're like gradually watching yourself get high. Or
Yeah.
feeling yourself get
The
high.
weed head is smoking before the edible. He's
Yeah.
smoking during the edible.
Yeah.
They're smoking
Yeah.
while it's developing. So that's what
In
they
my
like.
heart.
If you're a weed head, you're not waiting 3 hours for that edible to kick in. So
Right.
you just
Yeah.
get high, man. I don't feel it. But I got a question. Have y'all been around friends that you notice were going through addiction?
Absolutely.
But they tried to like push it off. It's like, oh, it's not that deep.
And then again, I will say what I just said,
Coerce.
referring to myself. I really feel like there is a level to me getting involved in that. Just like I would expect the same respect from you. Like I always say, it is a thing about calling each other out, being accountable for one another, but also you always have to remember that people are always not ready because you're ready. And that's the problem that people always have to say. I'm not doing this for you. I'm doing this for me. If you don't like what I'm doing right now, you have to learn how to accept and maneuver. If it's not something that you can accept, then this is something that you might have to cut off at the knee until that person gets their stuff together. But I'm never going to be the person like, oh, in order for you to be cool with me, you better cut it out today. Or you got to get... No, I can refer you to some people that might be good people that, you know, talk to, or good treatment facilities that you might need. And this is not just for drugs. This could be anything. Some people need an outlet to talk to about different outrageous
So yeah, and I can respect that because a lot of people like in a relationship they might have with friends or family, it might go past the extent. It depends on the connection, like you said, because a lot of people are affected by the decisions that a person that's under addiction makes. So you know, it's always that weird space of like, all right, I get myself together, and I come back to this person that I very visibly hurt or affected while I was under the influence for so long. And it's hard to rebuild that because number one, a person's trust might be shattered. So it's just fun, and that's a whole new level of pain. And then also the biggest thing, with any type of addiction is a level of escapism to it. You're forgetting regular life. So people that's constantly high all the time, people that's constantly drunk all the time, people that's chasing even the casino high for that matter, like they're removing themselves from what life usually is from day to day with them. So in that same moment, they have people that they love that's in this life that they trying to escape.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
It's a weird,
I say
dichotomy, if you will.
And I agree with you, Khalid, because here's the bigger part about that is that you kind of have to be sensitive to too. A lot of people don't realize that people that may be products of addiction, like myself, and I always used to be worried about those kind of things, trickling down. Like, is this something that's going to be a part of who I am as a human being? Is this something that naturally comes with me because of where I come from and where I'm from? My whole paternal side of the family were addicts. You know what I mean? Not saying that my maternal side wasn't, but it was just on my paternal side, it was very, very prevalent. Like, it was very, very obvious. On my maternal side, there was definitely more so, I have to hide this. This has to be that because of religious reasons. A lot of that side was very religious people. So it's like, okay, in order for us to maneuver here, you can't show that side. So, but we have to also be a little bit sensitive because as much as you want to slap the shit out of a lot of people, snap out of it.
Sure.
You can't always do that. I had to learn that getting older. It's just that everybody's not going to work on your time and the things that you want them to do for themselves, even though you can see potential in them, or you can see where this may be detrimental for their health and for their life. Yeah. But we do have to be, cognizant of those kind of things. So
I also think people that have addictions, it doesn't necessarily mean like drug and alcohol too. Because like I know some people who are addicted to. This might sound weird, but addicted to being helpful for other people to the point where it's like a
detriment to themselves.
Like they don't.
They find
achieve
people that
nothing
need to be. They
for
think need to be
themselves.
repaired.
Like they need to be like it's like codependency. It's like okay, well I'm going to be here for you because it's going to make me feel better about myself. But in the end, it's like you have nothing to show for it. And it's sad.
It's the people that's addicted to like being a victim all the time. Like they never see.
That too.
It is no. It's definitely different types of addiction. Like psychological.
My favorite now that we get to like kind of view overall is like celebrities who are addicted to fame. And then when they lose it, if you ever see like celebrity biopics or not even just biopics, documentaries or the unsungs and all that, and you see these celebrities who had like thriving careers at one time and then they lost it all so fast, and you realize they never known how to actually process that life after fame because they got so addicted to fame. People asking for their autographs and screaming their names. They wasn't no worried about their passion no more about what the career was actually about. It's literally like, oh my God, like I'm no longer young, or you know, like oh my God, it's a wrinkle. Like what are the audience going to think? Or you know, I'm missing that. Like, yeah, like you're addicted to it that bad that you were really willing to risk so much about yourself. Like you're willing to change your physical appearance.
And the crazy part with that is like that's why like even us talking like how it's so much internal. That's why like I've been seeing this like the last couple years. Like it'll be a picture of Little Kim in like '95, and they'll be like, "Oh my God, she looks so good." Then I wish people told her that, like how beautiful she was. Opposed to how she is now with the surgeries. That's internal. Like it has nothing to do. It has nothing to do with that. These people are facing problems that you would never know, that you would never see, and it's not on the surface. But people will make comments like that, like not knowing, like life ain't that easy. Some people are addicted to the fame. They need to feel relevant. They think that their nose isn't as skinny as this person, and that's just like famous people. Like there's so many people like that's addicted to way less. How many people do we know that's addicted to attention? How many people like we know that
social media
that are addicted to like having validation from their friends? Like it'd be so many people in relationships. It'd be so many like fucked up friendships, relationships, but they're lying on Instagrams, Twitter, Facebook. Just trying to get that approval, knowing that your household not like that. Some people are just looking for that approval, and it's like you're never going to get far living like that.
Ever.
Ever.
But they think they do, so that's why they keep doing it. They think it's gonna help.
So what about like strange addictions? What about those kind of things with like the people that? Where do you think they stem from?
I don't know. I watched that show, My Strange Addiction.
It's usually something like that'll
And here's
trigger
the
something in your
Rihanna
childhood.
said something crazy, Trent. She doesn't know anybody with a strange addiction.
So
it
might be you.
You might be very somebody. You might be the closest thing to.
Really?
You just never know.
What am I
You never really know. Like somebody you could be very close to could be eating sponges as we speak.
They like licking batteries.
Licking
Or you may be the one with the strange addiction.
Or you.
What am I strange? I'm not strangely addicted, but I'm addicted to online shopping.
Nah.
Like
that's not a strange addiction, but it's definitely an addiction.
It's not a strange addiction.
So I was watching a show like that where a woman literally lost everything because of online.
And
shopping.
I know it's bad. It's bad.
Does anybody have a strange addiction? Not a weird ass. Just what might be strange to other people.
Sometimes I do things like in a routine. Like I will say, like I do have like addicted to doing things in a routine. Like if I know that it's like a particular thing, it has to be done at that specific time, or on that specific day, or whatever like that. So sometimes I am meticulous in that way. I say that's kind of like addiction for me. Like if it's
meticulous isn't bad, or having a routine.
That's superstitious. That's like
and I'm not even going to say, like I said, like it's not always like a bad addiction, but it could be things that are like anal. That you could just be like, okay, like, all right, does this definitely have to be that way at that time?
Does it negatively affect you? Because I feel like addiction, like the end all be all to addiction is, does it negatively affect your life, or the people around you?
No, I don't think it would affect other people, but I would say that it would affect, like, time frame. So if it was like, say that if I say I needed to be out of the house by 10:30, but I know I do this at 10:15 routinely, then that could be a problem. That could be a problem.
I don't think it's weird, but I'm addicted to last minute shit.
Like spontaneity?
Yeah.
No, last minute, like getting to work just on time. Like,
Is it a rush?
I don't know if it's a rush.
Like, I
'cause,
can
like,
almost get written up. Like,
even if it's a
Well, I can
deadline, like
almost lose my
I
job.
get to work just enough not to be like late, but I do such a good job at my job. Whereas like when I'm late, it like, or if I'm on time, it's surprising. Like, why are you here on time? Oh, because traffic is good.
that's
Because I do such a good job, but it's like a rush of a
But
last
you're
minute thing.
always late?
When it comes with
kinda be
papers,
like
deadline, when it's like deadlines, it's like
So you're a procrastinator?
No, I know.
I'm a cheap procrastinator.
No, I'm the same way. I know exactly what you mean because that's when I turn it on. When
Yeah,
I know it's 15 minutes left
Right.
or something's doing 24 hours, that's when I'm going to turn it on.
yeah. I do my
Well,
best
I-
work
So you
last
want to
minute.
be able to
When
be
I got a
like, I
week
did
to
it,
do
I
something,
accomplished it,
I
I
feel
finished
like,
it.
yeah.
With
That-
like
or
this little bit of time.
That's when I'm at my best.
Best.
Because
I'm not
I,
gonna lie to you. Your best results is sometimes pulled in at the last minute.
Yeah.
I'll never forget. Like
No, that's
I,
real.
I'll be able to be like, oh God, like especially when you know you're at crunch time and you really got to get something done. It'd be like, oh shit.
if you got
I'm
a week
exactly
to do
the
something, you
opposite.
overthinking.
I need
Yeah.
Like you doing all
Because if
that.
I finish early, I'm gonna go back to it and
Yeah.
then I'm gonna mess it up. Same thing with like script writing and stuff like that. When you write something, I'm like, oh, I got a deadline for this.
That's
I'll be
real.
finished and I'll be looking at it like, I can change this now. The finished result isn't what I thought it was gonna be.
Yeah.
But that's
That's what
good.
you
You
think
have
about
like the
office,
time
so.
and the space to like.
When you finish
You
early,
do
that's
your
when it goes
shit.
to Tubi. That's what
Man, don't procrastinate. Your shit end up on TV.
Pistol sound like
I was in
pistol
a-
sound like a shotgun.
I was in a
What's
Tubi
that
movie
sound?
the other day. I was at the
So wait,
Chinese store.
what's the strangest addiction you've heard of
What?
in general? And
I've heard of
like-
somebody eat cleanser. Like it was her thing, and I had a friend who ate soap.
So you
Like
do
she
know
would,
somebody with a strange
she would
addiction.
carry. I had a friend. She's no longer my friend, but it just jogged my
What
memory.
is
She
that?
used to carry around bars of soap, and she would like scrape off pieces and eat pieces of soap. That shit.
I'm sorry.
Wow.
What's that cornstarch shit that's going on right now?
I don't know.
Cornstarch. People eat cornstarch though.
No,
Baby powder.
I work with people that will buy cornstarch, eat that shit by the spoonful. Well, like I don't know what that. Have you heard of that?
I haven't.
Mm-mm.
Oh, I see
My
it.
strange addiction.
No,
Episode
I heard it's to make them thick. Google that shit. Google
It's
it.
to make them thick.
It's something. I know people.
Let me-
There's people that only buy.
Get 'em
There's
back.
people that only buy certain
Sorry.
brands. There's people that are particular with the brands of cornstarch that they buy. That shit is
They
weird.
need the good shit.
They would say, I worked at a market. I worked for Whole Foods. They was like, nah, I don't like that brand. This the brand I want. And it's like,
Okay.
Mm.
No, I think this.
Let me Google it.
Trying to think if I ever. I mean, outside of just
Yeah, I
the
don't
TV
need it,
stuff,
man.
I don't think that I've ever known anybody personally.
Somebody I knew that I dealt with in my past, a female, she was addicted to the smell of mothballs.
What?
So she had
What?
mothballs in her bedroom,
No.
I'm in her drawers, in the bathroom.
It
She
probably
had,
reminded
she
her of
had
like her grandmama or something.
I don't know what it was, but I'm like, what's that smell? She said, and she act like it wasn't mothball. Like she was like, I don't know, probably new. And I'm like, what the fuck is that? So I went to the bathroom one time, washing my, XYZ. I'm looking, it's like a little container of mothballs. I'm thinking it's mints. I'm like, that's what, like, you know how you trying to figure out that smell? Like, I smell it in here
I know
too.
mothballs.
It's in every room.
Yeah.
And I'm going, I'm like, what is this? And it's
It
like
keeps
these
the
mothballs.
moths
And she act like, I'm like,
Well, I mean, that's if you have moths. But I mean, did she have moths? Well,
I
obviously
don't know.
not.
But it was weird. And I asked her,
Maurice, please!
I said,
What is a moth? Where does it come from?
I've
Like,
never
what is
seen a
it?
moth indoors.
I've seen it. My grandma used to
Seen
have
moths
mothballs in her
indoors.
house. That's
But
I
every old person used to have mothballs, and they used to always say it keeps the moths out. But I've never really seen mothballs in nobody's
I used to
fucking
see-
house.
Well, the old people eradicated them off by all having mothballs.
Exactly.
Oh, science!
Did it
she was older
Right,
too,
but
so
what
I don't
I'm
know.
saying
Maybe.
is,
I don't
did
know.
they
She
ever
was older.
know
She
that-
was
She was a
older.
cougar. Ah,
What's older?
that
Miss
explains
Cougar.
How old would she be present day?
Present day?
Present day.
present
Is she alive?
Like today, nigga.
Is she
this year,
Is she alive?
2023.
60?
Oh!
No, not 60. I'm like 56.
That's 60, nigga!
Round up. I mean,
That's a big round up. That's a 4-year round up. Things can happen
When
after
you
4
said,
years.
"Oh, I'm sorry," I thought you were going to come back with 42.
No, because I thought about my age when I was in my 20s.
Like, you said it. I'm thinking he was gonna say 40.
Nah.
Like he was way
All
off.
the
It's the
women,
same
they had
shit.
their stuff.
That coochie season.
Listen, they know what they want. They know what they want me to do. I'm there. I got a plate. I'm
And
eating.
from what I
Listen,
hear, rather
Drop
I
my
bet you
dick.
Dwayne was eating her out and he said, hold on. Is that Moppa? Is that Moppa? Is that
Gray hair.
No. Yes. No.
Yes, no. Fucking ate a fucking mothball. No, but I honestly don't know any like strange.
I had braids back then, so I was a wild boy. I don't know.
You did have
Oh,
braids.
that must have been 2000.
Forgot all
Yeah,
of my
it was a long
braids
time ago.
No, but
away.
he had long braids too, like real
Oh,
long.
Long hair don't care, man.
He had a lot of hair too.
Sad.
What I was saying is, when you had when you
This
had
is so
Khalil, Khalil, you ever known anybody with any strange addiction?
Strength? Nah, not that I can think of.
Me.
Yeah, you addicted to
You
more?
the old
It's all right.
No.
I do. I'm not gonna lie. For some reason, I never had like a problem with the smell of like nail polish. Like I've never had a problem
Oh
with that
shit!
smell.
If that's the case, I like the smell of gas.
Like I actually like the smell
Like
of
at the
nail
gas
polish.
station.
I like the smell of certain things, but I'm not addicted to it. I
Yeah,
love
that's what I was about
the
to say.
smell
I'm not
of
addicted to
Band-Aids,
it.
but I won't go buy a box of Band-Aids just to open them and sniff them.
Band-Aid?
But I love the
That's
smell
very,
of
that's very specific.
It's very-
I wouldn't know how one smells.
I love
I
the
don't
smell
think
of
I want a
Band-Aids.
man smell like
Like
that.
a first aid kit.
No, like Band-Aids. Like not even a first aid kits don't really have a smell. Like open up a box of Band-Aids and like
We're gonna try that
Oh, okay. Actually, I'm a pass. I'm eating.
I'm not addicted because I don't go seeking Band-Aids. Like I won't go to Rite Aid and be like, oh, let me buy a couple boxes of Band-Aids just so I can sniff them. Like no, but if I smell certain things, I'd be like, ooh, that smell like Band-Aids.
Ooh.
Like, I
again.
smell
No, matter of fact, you know what? I'm gonna take that back. I think I do know somebody, but she's gonna be mad at me. I think my mom is addicted to funerals. I do think my mom is
To
addicted to funerals.
grieving.
I said the grieving process. 'Cause my mom will go. She'd be like, you know, such and such got the body.
Nobody ever.
My mom will break it down. Who got the body?
Yeah.
Who was on there? She'll come back and say who took it hard and all of that, and how she was dressed up
Your mom
and all of
is
that.
theatrical. Your
Mom-
mom loves the theatrics of it.
But-
That's where you
That's
No, but I don't like
tell your
funerals.
mama,
Like for me, if I don't have to be there, I won't be there. Like I don't if it ain't necessary because I don't like funerals.
She just
But-
like being in the know of things.
Yeah.
What's going on?
But it's more than
Oh,
that.
what-
It's a
what-
little bit obsessive. Oh, they put her away so nice. Oh my god! You had to see what she had on. It looked like she was up there. Just her hair. Oh, and the choir sang. Oh, and the food.
That is
Oh,
your
the
mom.
food.
That is
Oh,
your
and
mom.
then, oh my god, the obituary was fabulous. It was
That's your
fabulous.
mom.
It's just like Sherry and everybody came.
Maybe she just like sharing her.
No, she loves funerals.
But then,
Like
but
she,
then,
Does she act like that with other
like
things?
my mom will be like my
Yes.
mom will be.
This is so
So she has like
serious.
a- it's
I
not
can
just
take
funeral.
it.
No, it's funeral. No, she's
no,
expressive like
are
that.
Like funeral
But
foods
she's
at
a
churches,
funeral
like
person.
they're-
Because when I say you're obsessive, because it's like if my mom will have like a friend whose child's, like say this, my mom's friend, daughter's husband's cousin died, she'll go. Oh, I gotta support my girl. You know I gotta support my girl. And I feel like my neighbor
Gotta support my mailman's wife.
You know, it would be like her neighbor. It'd be like, you know, like the neighbor from like the one of the school
I
teachers
can't
from the
do
5th
this.
grade that she ain't seen in 18,
But
30
she
years.
got.
Oh, I gotta be there. I gotta be there.
She got a good
Oh,
heart.
how would she
She just
feel
wants to
if I
support.
wasn't there?
If I don't go,
If I don't go, I don't know how it's going. Oh my God, Mar,
They
can you
need
take
to-
me to such and I'm like, I'm not thinking about it. I'm just not gonna do it. And she's addicted. She's addicted
It's
to it.
the-
You guys, like you, she
It's
has.
the how would she feel if I wasn't there?
How would she feel if I wasn't there? And then she opened up a bag. She has a bag full of obituaries. And I just be like,
God,
Mom.
man.
And you can see the number 1980 and the 90s and all that. I be like, Mom,
not date of birth.
some of the obituaries that
Oh, so she can funeral crash.
some of the obituaries don't even have pictures on them. That's how old these things is. And you be like,
Not new or true,
They
baby.
don't got
Right.
pictures on them.
Damn.
and my mom, you know how you know you're addicted to funerals when you will take the day off to go. Oh, you know I gotta take off because such and such mom.
They need me.
It's
It's not funny, but it is.
But yeah, so all the addictions that we have out there, we would like to talk about them and do it. You got to remember that out there for serious detrimental things to your health, to your finances, to anybody around you, your loved ones and all that. Please do not hesitate to seek help whenever you can find it. Get it if necessary. If you have any strange ones, we're praying for you. you're yet in our thoughts and in our hearts at those times as you go ahead and eat your bleach and you suck on your spoonful of cornstarch and you do
Bar Dove.
and your bar dove. And you do shit like eat mothballs and insert them into your vagina and you put those in your underwear cabinets and shit. God bless you.
Yeah.
God bless you, sister. And we appreciate everybody. We will see y'all next week when we getting into For Better or For Worse. We talking about love like that. We'll see you then. Be out.
Bye.